Char. Wow. Uy, paduusad. Uy, kainit ka naman. Char. Hello guys, welcome back to our series of English grammar vlog for English language. Okay, things like that. Okay, now we come up to another topic which are talking about the uh, could, would, should. Okay, just like when to apply the word might and may. Okay, and must. Okay, and then how can you use the word can, and then shall. Okay, could, would, should, might, may, must, can, shall. How can we use this in a sentence? There's a difference of each. You should know how to use this properly. Okay, you get the point. So let's discuss first the could. The could either be the partner of can. Okay. What is the difference when you say, I can do that? And you say, I could do that. What's the difference between the two? Okay, and then I would say, I should do that. Like that. Okay. And then it's also, I would do that. Okay. I shall do that. I might do that. I may do that. I must do it. Or I must do that. Okay. Things like that. What's the difference? Okay, let's choose first the mandatory, obligatory or obligation, and then as important as possible, the meaning it's really important to do that as a requirement. So, the word must and should, okay, are more mandatory, obligatory obligation, a requirement that it should be done, things like that, okay? So this is the sure thing. Okay, but this would, may, shall, can, might, could are not really that certainty or confirm, or let's say a requirement, an obligation, or let's say you really need to do this like that, a requirement, or you know what I mean, or mandatory. So these terms. Okay. Now, if for example, if you have a safety requirement or that is a very generic, not specific, so you will use shall because that is too generic. That might not be applicable, or might, right? The word might, that might not be applicable to all levels of the organization. That's why you use shall. There's a limitation. Okay. You get the point. For example, fabricators shall wear heat-resistant gloves to perform welding operation. Okay, you use shall because shall is not applicable to other people who will also use that heat-resistant gloves. It's not mandatory to them. Okay, but if you will say another thing, okay, let's say helmet, or it's applicable for all. So you will say must. Okay, you must wear the helmet. We must wear the helmet because it's mandatory, obligation, requirement. Okay, you got certain and confirm according to standards that everybody within the company, plant sites, or any factories or whatever must wear the helmets or the hard hats. Okay, so you will use the shall only. So shall meaning uncertainty. Okay, not everybody, but chosen few. Majority, some, few, not all. Okay. That's shall. So it's really uncertain. Okay? So not really that confirm 100% as long as they have to do that, they have to wear that because it protects their safety, personal safety. Okay? Muna siya ang shall. Okay? You got the point. That's why if the safety requirement is too general and generic, there's no as per, as per, as per, as per, as per. For example, as per National Electric Code number 70, all live electrical cable must be protected with a conduit or any protection to protect from direct exposure to heat, okay, and other outside environmental factors. Wow. Things like that, okay? This is gonna be the reason why. Okay, get the point naman. So, you will, there's no as per, as per, as per, according to, according to, according to, because it's already specific and certain. Okay, so it's already must. Okay. Muna siya ang shall at ang must. How about the should? Hala, what is really should? Okay. I should. What does it mean? Should and must are closely related with each other, but when you say should, you must do it, but not necessarily that you will confirm that to do that. Okay? You get the point. I should, but it doesn't mean that you should do that. You will be doing that 100%, but still you are really needing to do that, not optional. Okay, that's the only difference of should and must. Meaning to say, must is absolute, no excuse. Okay, absolute, no excuse. But should, it's also certain, mandatory, but there is an exemption due to different important conditions that is unavoidable. For example, I should sing today, but you did not sing because you have so many appointments in that day. Even though you plan to do it really, but there's another unavoidable circumstance that will be happening. But for must, you should really do that without excuse. That's why must are applicable for certain and specific standards. For example, for let's say ISO 9001, ISO 14001, there's a specific standards as per, according, based on blah blah blah. It specify the article number, the standards number. So must be there. It's not shall, huh? Shall only for standards that are generic. For example, I was say, as per OSHA Act of 1970, di ba? Ano ba yun? Okay, it's gonna be like that. Okay, so according to the OSHA Act of 1970, based on my memory, on December 29, 1970, and revised, nakakaloka, January 2004. Okay, like that, all employers, okay, must, ganun na yun, all employers must ensure health and safe working conditions to avoid hazards and risks. Ganon. So that is must. Okay. And then the employees should follow that specific rules and standard. Okay, should not. Okay. You get the point? So, because not all can follow, but they are obliged to follow. Even though there are mandatory to be followed, but sometimes you cannot follow due to unavoidable circumstance that is acceptable to consider also. Okay? Just like in every rule, there's an exception. Things like that. Okay? Muna siyang mga should. Oh, ganon. Now, you should. I should. Like that. Diba? Then, how about the might? I might, I may. Very close, right? So these two are uncertain. Okay, uncertain. So maybe like that. Okay, so uncertain. Okay, and might be. So how can we use might and maybe? Okay, the difference is the application of the tense. Okay, for example, I maybe do that if I'm not busy. You will never say I might do that if I'm not busy because it was not yet happening in the past. You will say maybe. Maybe this is good than this. You will say might be this good than this because you know might is only usually in the past. Okay? I might not do that. Oh, diba? Nakakaloka. Okay, but the same, uncertain. Okay, you got the point. Diba? Now, what is the difference between could and can? Okay? Okay, looks like very close, right? I can do that. Now, I could do that. What is the difference for that? Could is really the possibility. Okay, possibility. I could. This could. I could. But can, it is subject to sureness. It's subject to it will be really done, but it is not mandatory. That is, I can. Like that. But the word can, meaning to say, you will really accomplish that, but not necessarily 100% to accomplish that. Okay, but could is really not sure. I could do that, but I have the chance to do that. Okay, ganun mo siya ang could. So, possibility or capacity. Okay, I will say, I could do that because I have trainings in quality management system. So I could do that. Meaning not 100% you can do that, but since you have the training, then you can possibly do that. That's why could, or you have the capacity to do that. Okay. You get the point. Ganon. So, meaning to say, in terms of confirmation, can is more straightforward than could. Okay, if you really can do that, then can is the best for that. Not could. You get the point? For example, how would I say this? I say, near miss. Near miss is an unplanned, unexpected, unforeseen, undesirable event that could lead that could lead to injuries, accidents, incidents, but without consequence and effect. Okay, that's good, right? Because there's a possibility, but there's still no result and consequence. So that's the good. Okay, you will never say can for that. That could lead to. Okay, this could lead to, fatality. You never say this can lead. Okay, you get the point. You get the point. It can be noticed. It can be noticed to everybody. Okay, meaning to say, it can be noticed to everybody. That is visible to everybody. Okay, so no need to say could, because that is very visible. So that is very visible, meaning everybody can see. So you will say I can. I can notice that. Like that. You will never say could. You get the point? Or it can be noticed quickly. You will never say it could be noticed. Okay? Because that is too visible. Then you don't say the word possibility for that. because it's highly visible to everybody. So it's not possibility anymore. Everybody can see if they will just pass there. Okay, that's can, huh? I can see that. Oh. Okay, I can write that. You will never say I could write that because most of the people can write. Okay, you get the point. Ganon mo ang could ang can. And then ang would ug ang should, ang would na lang. Sa maning would. I would. What is would? W-O-U-L-D. Oh, I would. We need to say it really emphasize the the option. Okay, a request. Okay, an intention, because an intention it's not necessarily to be accomplished. Only you have that intention, but not necessarily you need to finish, to complete, or to what do you call this one? To really complete or hit the target. Only intention. He has the intention to do that, but actually, he was killed. I mean to say, it's not happening yet because that's only an intention. Okay? But there are also intentions that it will be happening. Okay? You get the point? Meaning intention, it's not yet happening. I have the intention to kill that boy. So, meaning to say, you haven't killed yet the boy. Wow, you haven't. Ganun ba yun? Yeah, you haven't killed the boy, as I discussed a while ago, because this is have, this is I, and the partner of have is with D. If we speak about past participle. Yeah, it's correct or not? Yes. Nakakaloka. So, ganon. So, ganon siya. So, would, I will say, I would sing high note song. Meaning to say, you are not really that sure that you will sing that high note song. So you use would, because it's not difficult to sing that one. Things like that. There's a barrier, limitations, but you try to do that. That's would. And if you do this, I would. Yes, I would. So if you answer yes, I would, it doesn't mean it will be accomplished or achieved. Unless he will say, yeah, yes, I should. Like that. So should a little bit confirm what you will do, but not necessarily also, it depends on the unavoidable circumstance. So if you are really 100% sure, you will use, yes, I must. In higher degree, bilang must. Meaning, obligation, obligatory, mandatory, confirm, sure. Close to just a should. Okay, but never ang would. Huwag ang could. Okay? You get the point? Ganon. Okay? You get the point, mga palangla, kung hitan. Okay. So, I would do that if I am not busy. There's a condition. You will only do that if you're not busy, so not sure. So, you will use would. You get the point? Anak siya, guys. Okay? Because if you will say, I could do that, it's wrong grammar. It should be, I can do that. Okay? Not I could do. Okay, like that. I can do that. Okay. So, could is not really the partner of do. Okay? So, find a sentence in the dictionary or in a book that could will be paired to do. Okay? Usually can. I can do that. I would do that. I must do that. But you say, I could do that. I shall do that. Okay? There's no such term like that. I may do that. No, there's no term like that. But there's I might. I might do that. Okay, so it depends on how you construct the sentence, and the sound it projects also, if it is awkward to your ears. But the first thing is the rule. Okay, rules. And second will be the how you listen it. If it is sounded very good when you express that, when you read that. Okay, you got the point. That's the second thing. But there are also following the rules, but it's awkward to listen. Okay? But for rare cases lang talaga siya. So, I have had my tea last night. I have had. Awkward, right? Because there's have, there's also had. But that's correct grammar. I have had my tea last night. Okay, that is past participle. Okay? You get the point. Okay, when you contract that, it will become I've had. I've had. Okay? So because you will always hear that in the contraction term, that's why it sounds awkward to listen, I have had, right? You always, I've had that. I've had that coffee last night. Okay? Because if you say, I have had coffee, it looks like not all the time used, right? But it's correct grammar, but awkward only to listen well. Okay? You get the point. Because there's a contraction. I've, ganon. Oh, diba? Oh, diba? I'd. And there's no I's contraction. Because the has, it's not paired with I. It's the she. So he's loving it. O, oh, diba? Ganun ba yun? He's loving it. Ganon. Contraction between he and has. But it depends on the sentence also, because if you will say, he has, the contraction also for this is his. Okay? Nakakaloka, no? He is. Pwede sa siya, he has. But if you try to put he has, it should be done. He's done. Okay? He's done the assignment yesterday. Means to say, he has done the assignment yesterday. So here's meaning contraction between he and has. And this also his, right? Okay. He's doing the job well. So that he is doing the job well. If you try to contract the he and is, it's also his. Right? Nakakaloka. Correct me if I'm wrong. But to make it sure, especially if the sentences are not too long, then write everything. Okay, not contract, because contract is the second choice only, ha? Second choice, not the first choice. The point. I've done my assignment last week. So it's better you will say I have done, to make it safe. I have done my assignment like that. Second choice na lang i-contract. I'd like that. Oh, diba? Ganon. I've been doing well. Oh, diba? I've been doing well last 2 days ago with my singing performance. I had been. Right? Now, why I said before, you will never put the past tense if you use the past participle. Have been, has been. So the partner is not, for example, lived, danced, sung, like that. It's always same. Like that. So, get the point. Pero nakaning I did. Basta did gani Guys, if you use did, the partner of the verb is not on the past tense. Okay. You get the point. The verb partner is not on the past tense. Okay? You get the point. So that's why, to make say, you remove the action verb. Okay, you say, I did it so well. Okay? But the problem is, it's not specific. So, you want to be specific. Okay, let's say, I have done singing well. I have done my singing well. Or it's also okay to say, I have done singing well. Because once you are singing, you are the one who sings. Okay, so no need to put my. So I have done singing well. Ganon. Singing is now the ing form verb. Ing. Okay? You get the point. Ganon. So, ing form will be used in perfect, shall I say, perfect progressive tense. Shall I say? Perfect progressive tense. Ganon. Have been, okay, has been, and had been. Ganon. Okay. Perfect progressive tense or perfect continuous tense. Continuous and progressive is just the same in meaning, in vocabulary. When it is progressive, it is continuing or in progression. Okay? Ganon. Right? Because it was a perfect progressive tense. And it was a present perfect progressive tense. Future perfect progressive tense. It also past perfect progressive tense. Ganon. Like pag itong present tense, future tense, past tense. Like pag itong past simple tense, past participle tense. Okay. You get the point? Ganon siya. Nakakaloka. Okay, so there are examinations that will have too much blanks in one sentence. You have to supply with the correct grammar, ha? Okay, with the point, anak siya. Charis. Okay. Yun yung question so far sa atong English grammar for tonight. Charis. Okay. Ganon, di ba? Nakuha na nato mga palangga. So we need to recap our summary of our English vlogs. I need also to discuss the, what do you call this one? The tone. The verb tone. Wow. The verb tone. Or the verb voices. The imperative, the subjunctive, ganon. Subjunctive, and the indicative. Okay? Sa verb declaration. Okay, ganon. Yun naman yung mga tense. Tense, we discussed about tense. We have also the tone. We have also the mode. And the duration. The mode. Mode meaning fast, slow, like that. That's mode. Or quick or immediate, like that. In hurry, like that. Duration meaning the length of time. Okay. 2 days, 3 weeks, 4 hours, 5 hours, 2 years, 3 years. Okay. 1 century, 2 centuries, like that. 2 decades, like that. All about length. Okay, that's duration. Tense, that's what I discussed a while ago. And also the tone. The tone meaning the expression, how it sounded. It sounded in angry, like that, exclamation, gandanan. Tone. It has to do something with the voice. Tone. He has a very beautiful tone when she sing. Uh, that is what I mean of tone. T-O-N-E. But it's applicable only in English here. Okay? Things like that. Toner. Nakakatawa ka from the word tone. Okay? So it's gonna be like that. Okay? Ganon. For example, how do you see the example for this? There is a big apple. The tone is direct. You already saw the big apple in your eyes. Okay? You say, does it falling quickly? That is mode. How many seconds did the big apple fall? And that is duration. Things like that. And tense, it's happening in the past, present, future, like this, tense. Past tense, future tense, present tense, gano'n. Diba? So, you get the point. So, tone in the sound of sadness, okay, in the sound of happiness, in the sound of surprise, okay, in the sound of ecstasy, in the sound of agony, in the sound of mourning or grief, sad, in the tone of, for example, what do you call this one? Relaxed tone. Now, this voice is very relaxed when he speaks. That is the tone also. Modulation of the voice, very loud, like that. Okay, but the mode is not like that, huh? You can analyze the way how I explain. Okay, you get the point. See, in automatic mode, because it will be quickly open. Okay, through digital and remote control. So meaning how fast, how quick, how slow, like that mode. Okay, but it doesn't declare the time, which is duration. Get the point. So muna itong tinahanan sa mga kuan. Okay, mga verbs, chuba-chucho. Okay, especially ang adverb. Okay, wow, adverb. Adverb, meaning verb plus the ad. Additional verb is the adverb. Ikatra ang word na additional, then add, then plus the verb, so adverb. Diba? Get the point? Katong siya, gracefully, o ganon. The food was deliciously prepared for perfection. Deliciously is the adverb, was is the helping verb. Okay? Was deliciously. So meaning to say the helping verb and the adverb are partners in crime. Okay? And then sometimes the helping verb is also a linking verb. Okay? You got the point, anak siya. If it used only to connect to the information, not denoting, not implying actions. Okay. Junjun appeared to be happy. I'm only appearing to be happy. Okay, but not necessarily I'm doing the action of happiness. You get the point? Ganon. Diba? Ganon, diba mga palangka? Yeah. The bird appeared in the sky. So that's action already. Because there's a movement of the bird going to the sky. That's action verb. Ganon. Okay. So this action verb, very important in the headings, captioning, because you need to be consistent in your documentation. For example, if your documentation starts with noun, it will be noun all. If your section heading will be all about action verb, all of them will be action verb. Okay, like that. So it will be very important in documentation. The clarity of consistency of the agreement of the noun and verb, ganon. O, diba? And then thinking verb, mga ganon siya. When to put, when not. When not to put, ganon. Okay, this is often taken for granted because, we are thinking that if we finish college, we stopped our learning these things. Okay? Especially if our job is routine. We often neglect how to pronounce well. We often neglect how to speak well, grammatically correct. We often not to remember these things. You get the point? Ganon. O, diba? O, ganon siya. So this is very, very basic, Basic lang tayo. So kayo mag-result sa complicated chance. Diba? Di ba mga palang Okay. Na, discuss na mga idiomatic expression, ha? Mga hyperbole, simile, paradox, mga ganon guys, di ba? Fallacy. Wow. Okay, you can still remember that idiomatic expression or the idioms. Okay, the parable, hyperbole, simile, ganon, di ba? Paradox. Okay, especially in the time of Moses, they will use sentences and statements that are more like a parable. Meaning to say, not direct, not word for word, but it implies an important meaning. Okay, not direct to the point. The words are not direct to the point what it means, but you have to think what it deeply means. So that's a parable, not literal. Okay, not word for word in understanding. So, for example, the prophets in the past, okay, Peter, James, and John, the disciples of Christ, like that, they normally use the statement in parable statement. Okay, not direct, but it implies very, very important meaning. Okay, ganon. So, a lot, if you read the Bible, it's gonna be like that. Most of the passages in the Bible are written in a parable statement, not literal. Okay? You get the point. Ganon. Okay? Get the point? It is not the food we eat that poisons us. It is our thoughts. You get the point? Ganon. For example, we are really choosing the food we eat, and if you eat that food, it makes us sinful, things like that. But in reality, that is not the true meaning. The true meaning, the more you are sinful, is through your actions, not the food you eat. Okay? It is your thought converted into actions that will lead you to immorality and sinfulness, not the food you eat. Okay? For example, if you eat that food, it doesn't lead you to sin. Then why you commit sin? Because it's just written in the past that it's not allowed. Things like that. And then the explanation also in the Bible before, it's not direct. So it's another interpretation between different denominations of various religions according to their mental capacity based on their understanding. Okay, so if that is the case, diversified interpretation will be appearing to the humanity. So we could not say who among them are telling the truth, because in one passage there's a millions of interpretations out of that. Just like a picture 1,000 words. Okay, a picture 1,000 words through that only one paint. So many definitions, so many meaning you can put into it because that's interpretation. And that's more on the biblical side. So there's no certain which is telling the truth. It depends on your belief and conviction that this is correct. This is correct. When you say go to there also, we are correct. We go to this, we are correct. So what is our benchmark of which is correct? Things like that. Because nobody born at the time of Moses. We are late appearing after death or after Christ. So we are not sure who is really telling the truth. Okay? Meaning, our conviction and belief are telling the truth that we need to follow. Okay, ganun siya. Belief and conviction. Or faith. Belief, conviction, and faith. That's why we automatically believe even though we don't see. Meaning, to believe is to see. Meaning, you believe directly and you see the award, you see the effect. Ganon. Because in science, you need to see it first to believe. To see is to believe. That is highly scientific. But for biblical, to believe is to see. Because you already believing those happening in the past, even though you did not see them. Right? There's a miracle, for example. Did you see that miracle in the past? You did not see in your eyes. But why you believe? There's no evidence that you saw. Meaning to say, you believe because you see that that is true according to the Bible passage. Or according to the Word of God. Right ba? So, ganun siya. Diba? Mga parable, hyperbole. Hyperbole looks like a math, right? Parabola, hyperbola, like that. There's also English like that, ha? Related na siya sa hyperbole, parabola, mga projectile, just, ako ko projectile, kalaw. Diba, guys? Kumusta na bang tanali? Matuog na tayo. Ito lang, ito ka to. Char! Okay, so, we recap our study. We have the, noun, pronoun, okay, adjective, the adverb, okay, the tenses. I told you a while ago, tenses, the conjunctions, the preposition, okay, the preposition, okay. We have the verb, okay, the punctuation, the punctuations, exclamation, interrogation, question mark, period, like that. Okay? Okay, what else? Apart from this 9. These are common only, right? Noun, pronoun, adjective, adverb, tenses, conjunctions, preposition, verbs, ganan, and punctuation. What else? Okay? Because if you mean subject, it's under noun. If you mean predicate, it's under verb. Okay? Because normally subject and predicate kasi subject and predicate, ganon. Predicate refers to the information that relates to the subject. So meaning to say, it's not a sentence without the predicate. Okay? Get the point. Example, the red apple. That is not a sentence because you are only describing the apple. There's no, predicate. That is subject all. The red apple. What? What's that for? So there's no information to create us an interest of that red apple. So there's no information other than the color. You describe only the apple that is red. So this is not a sentence. This is only a subject. Diba? The red apple contains a lot of vitamin C. This is now a sentence because there's an information apart from the color. You describe the apple, right? It's gonna be like that. Description is normally part of the noun. The short boy, the tall man, the pretty woman. So that's subject. Okay? So normally, the adjective and the noun will be paired. Okay, ganon. Adjective and the noun. And the verb will be paired also with the adverb. Okay? So the verb I mean here, it could be a helping verb, an auxiliary verb, okay, and the linking verb, like that, and the action verb. Ganon. Okay. Ganon. So adjective, it depends also the situation. What kind of adjective is that? Referring to the color, location, underneath, below, like that, beside, at the top, at the bottom, beside, like that, underneath. So that's it's gonna be like, okay, mga ganun. Okay, so preposition is also paired with a noun. Adjective is describing the tall, the height, the color, the weight, like this, the appearance, the taste, like that, blah, 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 so and so. Preposition katong mga location. Okay, ganon. Diba? Ang muna na siya, guys. Eh. Bye-bye, kami pa lang muna dyan ako mikuha ninyo, ha? Okay man, anak siya. Okay, ganon. So, what matters the most, guys, is the comprehension. Then when you read a story, you digest what it means all about. Okay? And then also, the questions will not be directly, word for word, for that particular content in the story. That's the time this grammar thing, apart from this, that's the time that these synonyms, antonyms, homonyms will appear. Because this is a tricky part during the question. You have to ask the opposite and the opposite of the content of the story. Things like that. You get the point. So normally the synonyms or paraphrasing. Okay. The paraphrasing meaning the same meaning. The same meaning, not necessarily you change the words. The same meaning, not necessarily the synonymous also with each other. How can you say that? For example, I will say a pretty woman jumps from the bridge. Okay, ganon. You will say, the pretty woman fall from the bridge. It's just the same because when you jump, the woman will fall after. This paraphrasing. You get the point? The woman fall from the bridge and hit to the trees. Even though the words are not the same, but it implies the same thing. Because the pretty woman jumped and there's a tree on the below or underneath, things like that. Even though it doesn't specify if the woman is pretty or not. The point. So it's not word for this is what we mean. The same meaning but not synonymous. What it means that the term is not really the synonyms, but it's only the phrasing of the sentence has been modified. That's why it have the same meaning. You get the point? And then paraphrasing is really changing the terms to have the same meaning. Ganon. Pretty woman jumped from the bridge. We will say a beautiful woman jumps from the bridge. It's just the same. They change only the pretty to beautiful. Because I said a while ago, a synonym, not synonymous, but the same meaning. Not necessarily. Okay, not necessarily, but it can be necessary as well. When the statement was say not necessarily, means to say it's also necessary, but not only mandatory. You get the point? Para it's just the same with the should and must. Right? Must is really necessary. Okay? And should, it's also necessary, but not necessarily. You got the point. So maybe you understand what I'm trying to emphasize, right? Because there are things are necessary, but not necessarily also to do that. It's still okay. Okay. like that. Just like saying, this, for example, I put an object to this platform like that, and then it's very safe. The platform is very thick, and there's something like, but it's not proper to place that in that big platform because that is not based on normal practice, and that's based on the standard because it's impractical to do that based on basic common sense. Even though it is not unsafe but improper. You get the point? Meaning to say, improper and unsafe. So, improper and unsafe are necessary, but not necessarily unsafe. It is improper, okay, but not necessarily unsafe. You get the point? Personally, not necessarily, okay? Necessary, but not necessarily. Okay, you get the point? Because the more you put in an improper way, time will come, it will become unsafe. You get the point? Though, for now, it's not yet unsafe because the condition is still manageable. But what if you keep on doing that for how many years, all those improper, conditions, then it will become also an unsafe condition. Okay. Just like using the permanent connection as a temporary connection. And that is not unsafe because it will be based on the voltage supply only. It will never cause fire, but that is improper way of doing it. You get the point? So we need to say, safety is not like that, only looking for unsafe entirely. We are also looking for improper situations that could lead to unsafe in the future to avoid accidents. Because if this improper thing is normally deviating the standards. Okay? You get the point? Not necessarily it is unsafe, but it's deviating from the standards. You get the point? Just like this is my glass. I put this at the top of the printer. And the printer is very wide, right? It will never fall if nobody will touch. Now, it is the correct way of putting the glass? It's not. So even though it is unsafe, but it's improper. So you don't have to do that because it's improper. Okay? It doesn't mean that it is not unsafe, then you should not correct. You should still correct because that is improper thing to do that. That's not basing on what is used to. Ganon. Or the basic thing to do. There's a lot also in the house, in the school, or in the process, in the that's not unsafe but improper. The improper kasi usually it will lead to visual impact. Ugly, okay, unhygienic, like that, things like that. But it cannot cause unsafe directly. You get the point? First of all, you put so many kachara in the road and the road is very wide. Right? So that's improper. But not necessarily there's an unsafe because the road is very wide. Nobody will go there, things like this. Nobody will be exposed to that. But it's improper of doing that. That's what it means. Okay, because later on it will be flown by the air, and it will be flown by the air, and it will touch the heat ignition, and it will cause fire. Okay, get the point? Things like that. So you need to put into a container or a metallic skip so that it could not be, it could not be moved away or flown away by the air movement, things like that. So it's not really that unsafe at that time you look, but it has the possibility to become unsafe. That's improper. The point. Normally, there's also unsafe at the same time improper, but sometimes only improper, not unsafe. You get the point? But it can never be unsafe. Okay, but it can never be unsafe at the same time proper. Okay? Ganon. So ano siya pag-explain, guys? Okay. Thank you so much for watching this vlog. Bye-bye, God bless everybody. Mga itong nagkakanan ka las cheese na. Cheese! Nagkakalot. God bless. Bye-bye. See you later. Wow. O, diba? Nakakaloka.